Hi everyone, my name is Luxaria Thorn, and I mostly stream games on Twitch, but I also like to read, so welcome to the tour of my 2026 reading journal. I hope you enjoy. Hello again! Welcome to the actual book journal flip through. So, this is my journal. I picked it up at the local bookstore. I kind of like the simplicity of it, even though usually I go for more intricate designs, but this one just caught my eye, and I do enjoy pink. All right, so starting off on the cover page, of course, it took me some time to brainstorm what exactly I wanted on the cover page, and I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I have definitely gotten over the anxiety of using up, the stickers that I buy at conventions or order online from small businesses. I usually don't like to stick them somewhere permanently, but I figured that, it's a book journal. I like to keep these, I like to flip through them, so I figured this would be a good place for these. Now, this book journal doesn't really have a theme. The only semi-consistent thing throughout all of the spread is the heavy usage of these washi tapes. They're from Stationery Pal. I just really love Cinnamoroll in my melody. So I've combined that into the spreads. Yeah, there we go. So this is the year in books. It has a little Dutch door over here because last year I ran out of spaces when I just left, one spread for this. It looks a little unfinished here because it is. But I thought that I would put all the frames in so that I know, where I can stick in the cover. But then I decided to not do that because I got too lazy. But the covers should fit over the dark. So there will be no outlines once this is filled out. And I think this spread really comes to life after after everything is filled in. So yeah, that's how this is looking. It's very cinema roll heavy, this spread. And here's the goals page. I've actually was thinking of just doing this kind of tracker for my goals, not with all of this. But as I filled in all of these, which is kind of around the amount of books that I read last year, in 2025, and essentially everything fit on this page. So I was like, okay, now what do I do? So I actually set myself some reading goals. They're pretty simple, I would say, which is again around what I read in 2025. What I definitely want to do though is finish all of my paused books because I have three books that are like halfway done and they've been halfway done for years, and I'm really bothered by the fact that I have not finished them because I own them. So that is like the main thing that I need to be doing this year. Then it's just read 8 books of my physical TBR, which honestly, it's probably like 1/3 of my physical TBR, so that would be a great accomplishment. Then this year, I want to start reading some comics, so I have a little reading guide for Daredevil and Punisher. So if I complete either of those, that's this challenge done. And for some reason, I want to reread Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I don't often reread books, but I've only read the first two, and then I rage quit the third one, and it's been haunting me ever since. Like, I really liked the first book. The second one was kind of eh, but I'm curious. I'm curious why I liked it so much, and I want to go back to it. Plus, they have a really good cover, like the re-release cover. Oh, it's so good. So yeah, as usual, I will be filling out every book that I read in these colors over here. They're basically like what medium I read the book in, just physical ebook and audiobook. That's like the main ones that I read. I don't track like library or the ones that I own really, because I just have a separate tracker for the ones that I own already. And all of the other books are essentially from the library, so. And we continue. So this is my bookshelfie spread, which is probably the weakest spread for me. Again, I cannot figure out how to make it good or like something that I like. I have made these stained glass windows myself because I was too late to order some stickers online. So yeah, they're just a little not the best, let's just say. I think they would benefit from having smaller sections, but that was too hard to do, so this is what we have. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty simple. It's just a bunch of books that I will hopefully fill in. I think there's a bit more books than there are here. So if I read more than 56 books, I guess I can still track them here. But I track everything on Goodreads anyways, so this is just more for, for fun. So what I'm also tracking here is genres that I read, of course, which is the main point of the bookshelfie, perhaps. I have updated them a little from last year's. The big one, I would say the big change is that I've added other, because sometimes I just read something that doesn't fit in these, and it's just fantasy, romantasy, sci-fi, and romance, because I think those are the ones that I read the most, so. And if I read any mystery or something, I can just put other. Yeah. And then we have the next spread, which is favorite book of the month. I really loved I loved doing this spread last year as well. It was kind of similar, but I didn't quite commit to the picture frames. But this year I was like, it'll just I just wanted this messy aesthetic of like of some person's study that has just all these paintings on the wall. So yeah, the covers, fit in here. Maybe not precisely, but I will, I guess, color it behind there if needed. And yeah, this page is pretty self-explanatory. Usually it's not all the 5 stars that are filled in here, because I have some months where I don't read a 5-star book, so it's literally just my favorite of the month based on vibes if it's not a 5-star, if there is no 5-star to put here. Yeah. And then to the next spread, basically taking over what is filled in here, is Best of 2026. I really like how this spread turned out, even though if you look closely, it is wrong. I sketched it out wrong. Essentially, see, everything is like 2, 2, 2 here, right? And here I also wanted to do it 2, and then 2, and then 2, right? But then I accidentally sketched another 2 here, even though it should have been, 3 of them. But I figured that instead of having just, I guess, 3 finalists and then picking one, I could just still keep it like this, and I have first half of the year favorite go against the second half of the year favorite. And then we'll see what we get. Alright, let's continue. It's a Romantasy bingo spread. And as you can see, I got a little too excited and forgot that I still have to film this video, and I put in my first square, because the amount of time this book said, oh my gosh, he smirked, and his smirk, and everything about his smirk, I just had to put it in. Like, it had to be this one. Yeah. Essentially, I found this Romantasy bingo online, and I really liked it because I thought it had all the cringy romantasy tropes. And yeah, I'm curious to see how fast I can fill it in. I'm pretty sure I can fill out, like, find the books for each one of these, but we'll see which one gets bingo first, essentially. And this one is very My Melody themed, as you can see. Okay, so next spread is series tracker, which I don't know why, but I really enjoy doing the series tracker spread. They always come out nice, I feel like. One major difference from last year is that I actually put all the titles down. Last year I just had the little circles, but then I didn't really know what to do about, like, 1.5 or 2.5 books. So this year I just decided to put all the titles in, and I think it came out to look very pretty. It's also pink Pokemon themed. Here's my favorite. And the gray ones obviously are the ones that I have already read before the start of this year, and then the ones that I read as I go, I will fill in with probably some kind of pink color. I don't think I picked it out yet. All right, so this whole situation. So essentially, this is a physical TBR paused, which is a part of physical TBR because all the paused books that are on here are books that I own. But then I did an oopsie when I was putting this together, and then I had to did not finish on here as well because otherwise there would be an empty space here. And I usually don't fill out much of a DNF spread anyways, so I just put it there. But essentially, I started with pause down here because I know there were only 3 of them. Judge me. Then I started writing down my physical TBR, which I expected was gonna be longer. Like, I've actually, I don't know if you can see, had to cover these up because I was like so sure that they were gonna go all the way down. But turns out there aren't as many. So yeah, then I was left with this free space here, and I just decided to put DNF here. And because I put the DNF spread here, that meant that the new releases spread got an extra page. So now it's huge. I'm pretty sure I would have been able to fit it in just in the. Yeah, this was supposed to be DNF essentially. I'm sure I would have been able to fit it in just one spread, but I don't know, my handwriting, I feel like it's like so spread out, so it's nice to have some extra space. Essentially, I'm usually not one to like really wait for a certain release of the book, but I have several that I wanna like keep an eye out because it's from some, author tubers that I would like to check out. And the rest are just like usually part 2 of the series. And also some other ones because I was like, why not? Let's fill it in a little, but I guess these are the books that I am eagerly expecting in this new year. And the last spread for a bit more like ordinary, the usual spreads, is purchased, which I hope will stay kind of empty. I did really good last year. I only bought 3 books, I think. So I hope I can do that again. Also, I really like that I that I went with like big stickers for this one. Yeah. All right. Now for a page that you probably don't see as often in the book journal videos. Essentially, I really want to get into reading comics, especially Daredevil and The Punisher. And because I always found that a pretty daunting task, I essentially found a reading guide for both of these. And, why have it online on Reddit or whatever when you can copy it into a journal and make it all pretty? So, I guess I'll put the link on screen for the guides that I copied in here. But yeah, essentially all the Daredevil. It has a little Dutch door because there are so many. I actually ran out of Daredevil comics here a little, so I just added in a bunch of extra notable mentions and stuff. And I've also just added the latest runs, even though they were not necessarily recommended. I don't know when the guide was made, but Because this one is like brand new. It starts in 2026, so I'm excited to see. Now let's continue to my edgy boy. Again, here's the Punisher guide that I used. It actually took some time to decipher it, let's say, because the way I've compiled this is so that I can find comics on Marvel Unlimited, essentially. And Marvel Unlimited kind of categorizes stuff by like the publishing year, so that's why the publishing years are written down everywhere, because I think they're quite important when I like look for them. Again, you can actually see that I've already read some. Same principle as with the series tracker. The gray ones are the ones that I have already read in the previous year, and the rest will be filled out as I read them this year. The Punisher, though, took up like everything perfectly. I did not plan this to be like this. I stuck these in before I started writing it down, and for some reason it worked so well. I was so happy when this was all done. So yeah, I'm really excited. And the last spread is Comics Red, which is doesn't have anything on here yet because I think I'll just I cannot really plan for anything. I'll just write it like this, kinda, I think. If there are any comics that I read outside of Daredevil or The Punisher that are not marked on here, I'll probably just put down here. I just think it's easier to track comics like this and not like how I track books. So, no covers will probably be included. Maybe just like one for the first issue. But if I put in covers for every single issue, I could just fill out this entire thing just with the covers of all the comics. So, yeah, and this is all my yearly spreads, let's say. Uh from here on, it's gonna be monthly spreads. As you can see, I already started with January, but I have not finished it at all. I'm probably gonna add reviews after each monthly spread, but I'm gonna be quite liberal with that, let's say. I don't plan to write a review for every book because then this will turn into a chore, and I don't like that. So I'll probably just write a little something, if anything, and I will not beat myself up about it. But yeah, this is my 2026 book journal flip through. Thank you so much for watching. That was really fun.